That's how you'll see a lot of progress. That's the decisions that you need to make in terms of the individual plans that you had. Yeah? I usually speak a lot to entrepreneurs, and I believe almost half of the room here is filled with entrepreneurs. Before you get stuck, implement that idea. I spoke to you 6 months ago, and you still haven't implemented that thing. You are here today. It's a problem. You see what I'm talking about? Because, you see, Robert Kiyosaki calls it the rat race. Once you enter, it's difficult to get out. You find that in Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I've already given you guys how many books now? 2 books to read, nah? Hey, you're too hungry to follow. It's a problem, this thing. 2 books already. So check that out. Now, it looks simple, isn't it? It looks very simple. And indeed it is. Indeed it is. Eliminating the negative thought. Eliminating the negative thought. Because it starts here. Once you tell yourself that you can't, you definitely will not. Remember what, is it Nono? What Nono said about the adventures that she went to. The moment that she thought she wouldn't, she fell. On Saturday, I was on a hiking trail in a very windy situation. There's a lot of people who turned back. With hiking, it's always the end that is most precious. Because when you get up there, you get that, I didn't feeling. If I can show you the pictures now, you'll understand. But it was so windy that you could literally be blown off. Literally. Like at some point we had to hold against the rocks. But now, if you decide you can't do it and you turn back, and now you, at the bottom of the mountain, people are talking about the experiences. I should have went. You see, you don't need to have that feeling. It's a depressing feeling. So that idea that you told me about 6 months ago, implement it and do it now. No one is stopping you. And don't talk about, I don't have capital. There's no such. Like I said, if you want to build a house, you can't start with the roof. You must start by digging the ground, and that does not require man. You see? Then when you're done with digging the ground, you've seen the foundation, you'll have a lot of motivation to continue with laying the foundation. When you're done with laying the foundation, you'll have a lot of motivation to put up the wall. That's how it starts. How do you eat an elephant? Bit by bit. You see what I'm talking about? So if you get rid of that mentality, you're gone. And I always say this. It's quite difficult now that you're hungry, but I'm glad most of you are not sleeping. Be the missing puzzle. Have you seen who here likes board games? Board games, anyone? Board games. Who have played Jenga? Jenga, no one. Okay, I'll just stick to the puzzle. You're busy building a puzzle. And you're about to finish. That one is not there. Is the puzzle complete? Can it ever be complete? That's what you need to do. As an individual, wherever you go, whatever you do, whether it's soccer, it's your relationship. Beyonce is ridiculous. Beyonce is ridiculous. Saying she can replace you. No. If you decide to be the missing puzzle, you'll indeed be irreplaceable. You get what I'm saying? Do things that the next person can never do. If there's one thing that you guys should know, whether you have a twin or you are a part of triplets, sextuplets, whatever, you will never, ever be the same as that person. Ever. You guys have heard, 2 motivational speakers today? we're talking about the same thing in a different way. You get what I'm saying? Now, dependent on the charisma that the person has, the information will sink. Does it make sense? Now, when you get to work as an intern, you do things that permanent employees don't do. Your director would end up asking, where is John? No, he's on breaking barriers. I know, man. Can you not call him? We've heard those things, isn't it? You haven't heard those things? Then you're not the basic person if you haven't heard it. if you haven't heard that, then you need to make sure that you have that. In the next 2 weeks, you've got an impact to make. You decide now to make that impact in the next 2 weeks. This is a build-up. This is you making your bed. You know you've got 2 weeks, right? What do you have to lose? If you always hear that speech of this thing has always been done like this, why do we have to change it? Change it. You've got 2 weeks. No one is going to say anything to you. You've got 2 weeks. They can't fire you now. Yeah. It takes longer to fire a person. You see? So you've got 2 weeks. If you haven't been making a difference, make it now. Make it now. So that when the 30th comes, then they move that farewell in the office with that small cheap cake. And you celebrate, you're done. Ne? Come Monday, you are not there. Something has to be done. You are not there. In 2 weeks, you can make that impact. In 2 weeks. I challenge you now. Who accepts the challenge? The hunger is gone. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. You see, once you've identified yourself as that missing link, that missing puzzle, that one potential being that can never be absent from any given situation, you start seeing yourself differently. And you need to ask yourself that one question every single time. Who am I? Every single time. I use a mirror a lot. I'm guilty of that. Well, as a guy, I feel guilty sometimes. But the reason I use the mirror a lot is that I have conversations with myself. I don't only have conversations with you guys. On a daily, I have conversations with myself. What have I done yesterday? Where have I gone wrong? What am I going to do today? What am I going to correct? My goal is never to go wrong in a day. Although that's impossible, right? That's my goal. Every single day, reflect. And when you see in the mirror, when you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see? Every single day. When you wake up, before you take a bath, that's the real you. Before all these funny things that we do. That's the real you. Every single day, I look at myself, I see a billionaire. Every day. Do you know how I portray it? In my walk. A lot of friends of mine, Chief, when I walk like you have man, Chief, I have man. I see it, I've envisioned it. You see, it's not here yet. You see, I'm working towards that. And that's where it starts. Self-motivation. You see, you look at yourself, you see an empire. You look at yourself, you see a legacy. That's where it starts. Because no one else is going to say to you, hey, Chief, you look like a William Renz. No one is going to say that to you. Do you get what I'm saying? We always have conversations as guys. When you guys start your program, you must check them in 6 months. They would have transformed. There's a difference between poverty and... You see, when you get there, you have not tasted the 4,000. It's a problem. The difference thereof is when you introduce the 4,000, now the body starts getting it. You see, even the skin pigmentation changes. Eh? You start becoming a yellow bone there. You see? That's the power progress has. When you go back home, you go visit after 3 months. I guess now you've been saving up so that you can't get home without plastic bags. You must be felt when you get home. Then you hear, hey, how's the motion? All these comments. Some of your friends say, hey, how about change it? You see? That is the power of progress. And for you to start that process, to begin with, for you to start that process, you need to envision that process. If you don't do that, it will never manifest. It will never ever manifest. You get what I'm saying? So that way, a broader statement. It needs to happen. You see? Now, what you envision, right? You need to see it happen, and you need to inject a lot of love in doing whatever it is that you're doing. You see? You can ask Comrade Nube here. I was very disgruntled with him ahead of this talk. And he asked me, Comrade, do you want to pull out? I said, no, I don't want to pull out. The simple reason is that I love this thing. I love standing in front of people and instilling faith in them and providing that development thing that they need on a daily basis. I always fight with Malume when they say there's an opportunity to travel. He thinks I love traveling. No, it's not about traveling. Well, I do love traveling. But the thing that drives me about all these things is standing in front of people and talking in front of people, which is what I love. And if you love doing what you do, I kid you not, it will take you places. I've been to Cape Town, I've been to Durban, Polokwane, Northwest. I've virtually been to every province now that I think about it. Through speaking. It's because I love doing it. You see? And when I stand in front of people, I feel like a yellow ball. I'm getting there. You get what I'm saying? So when you take those photos, my brother, take them with passion. Because you never know who's looking. You get what I'm saying? The next thing you're taking a photo, Cassper West is here. Hey man, your photos are very nice. Can you come and do my cover for my album? Just like that, you're gone. You get what I'm saying? Just like that. Because that's the thing with doing things, because you love doing them. You see? Specifically, I don't know what you guys do. I would give practical examples in that regard. You get what I'm saying? But now you add your charisma and your love in doing what you do. I kid you not. I'm glad you guys are now awake. I'm very happy. When you add your charisma and what you love, that is what happens. Come hell or high waters. It doesn't matter whether you smoke nyaupo or not. You see? The effects of that will always remain with you. It doesn't matter whether you're Patrice Motsepe or not. You get what I'm saying? There will never be any you that is truer than you. Because you are the only you that is there. The gentleman spoke about differentiations of people. One spoke about IDs. I'll speak about fingerprints. When you look at your prints, you are the only you. When you look at the way you think, people can bring ideas. I always say, a lot of friends of mine always ask me, Chief, are you not afraid of sharing your ideas because you haven't implemented them yet? It's fine, let them implement it. They will never implement it the same way as I would. You see? There will always be that twist that will introduce to that. Hence, you find people who do consulting work. It's through that. You get what I'm saying? Now, you need to decide. You need to decide. In my other talks, I usually bring this forth, attitude or hard work. and attitude always wins. Make that decision today. And it starts here. I repeat that. Starts with the attitude to want to do it. You get what I'm saying? Don't be frustrated that you're leaving. In fact, I always celebrate. I always say this when I do farewells. I always say that I'm happy that you guys are leaving because you guys are not yet in the red race. You don't want to be in the red race. I'm in the red race. A whole lot of us are in the red race. We want to get out. Of the permanent employees here, is there any person, one person who does not want to leave work? Of the permanent employees here? I don't think they are that hungry. It's a question of they all want to leave. You see? Because it's a perpetual system. It's a perpetual system. Nothing changes. And when they speak about radical economic transformation, it's on your shoulders as the current youth. And if you don't create, you will not get rid of the system that we are in. I noticed something over the weekend as well. I was in a market somewhere in the country. What I realized was that a lot of our African brothers, foreign, that is, produce. And we South Africans, we buy and sell. In that market, I think, that market, what do they call it? It's in Long Market Street in Cape Town. It's packed, like you literally can't see where you're stepping, right? There's a lot of markets there, a lot of people selling a lot of things. Very few South Africans. Most of these African guys, they produce stuff, and you see there's a corner there, there's a South African guy talking to you in Xhosa, with a bag there produced by someone else, t-shirt produced by caps produced by someone else. With that mentality, and I'm glad that all those guys were older than me, the 40s, 50s, sorry, comrades of 40s and 50s. I'm glad that they're not the youth, because now we still have that ample opportunity to create. And that's the only thing that will get us out of the mess we are in. And you guys have the opportunity now that you're not going to wake up and look forward to sitting on your desk and doing nothing. Because let's be honest, guys. Like, let's be honest. Let's be honest. Like, 20% of your time, that's what you're working on. No one can tell me you work the whole day, unless if you're doing a log 2. That's not working. That's just walking to supply chain and back. Yeah? So there's a whole lot more that you can do with those fat brains. A whole lot more that you can do with that. Besides being dependent on, no, for you guys it's the 30th. With us it's the 15th. Very frustrating. Get out. Get out now. It's all dependent on you. Did you hear what I said? Guys, get out of the system before you enter the system. You've had a taste. Get out. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Eve. Now it's time to get out and get lunch. Let's all get out, and we are all leaders in here. Let's lead ourselves to